Professor Liu is going to teach you the multiple choice for inheritance to serve as a review for all the concepts. It's okay? So inheritance. And I'm going to do the questions. Alright, so let me minimize this and make this a little bit larger so you can see all the questions. Okay? So question number 1 say a class that represents the most general entity in an inheritance hierarchy is usually called superclass. So the more general is superclass. Alright, let's do next one right now. So more specific, a class represents a more specific entity in an inheritance hierarchy. Then you should call that subclass. Okay, we continue. So when we design a hierarchy of classes, feature and behavior are common to all classes. That's a superclass. All right. And when we do this, when we design a hierarchy of classes, feature and behavior are the most specialized, then you will put them in subclasses. So we review 4 questions right now. I hope you understand. Let's continue. So we concentrate on super, hopper, then later we have some composition too. So which one is the following is true about bank account class? All right. So this one is the saving account. The saving account inherit the get balance method from bank account class. So I did not go back to your textbook. You need to read this and go back to textbook to take a look at get balance method. That was inside your bank account. Then which of the following is true? Then the checking account also get balance. So the get balance from the super account was inherited by both saving account and checking account. To create a subclass, the keyword for class for Java is extends. In Java, a class that's defined without explicit extend class, is a subclass of objects. So we are all subclass of objects, even though we don't have extend. Which one of following is true regarding subclasses? All right. So you can read all of these. Say a subclass inherit method from but not instant variable. But the correct answer will be this one. A subclass inherit method and also instant variables from its superclass. So a subclass actually will inherit everything from superclass, including the methods and variables. So which of following is true regarding a subclass? And so you may read other things, but the correct one would be a subclass may inherit methods and also instant variables from its superclass, and may also implement its own method and declare its own instant variable. So that's the correct one. The rest of them, they are not correct. Later on you read them, okay? Which of the following is true regarding subclass. All right, so a subclass has no access to private variable of superclass. So the superclass, if a part is private and the subclass cannot access it. How does inheritance differ from implement in interface? The interface we're going to teach in next chapter. Okay, so with inheritance, a class gain behavior from superclass. Interface doesn't. All right, so learn this right now, and we will learn interface in next chapter. Okay. So which of the following indicate that auto is a subclass of vehicle? We have a chart right there. The correct answer will be here. You read public class auto extend vehicle. So auto is subclass. Vehicle is a superclass. If a superclass and subclass both have a instant variable with the same name. All right, so that's a trouble, right? We tell you what happened when you deal this. The subclass instant variable is said to shadow the superclass variable. That's what we say, and we'll see how we do that. Okay. Next one, we consider the following code like this. We have a class vehicle. That's our superclass. I have a private string vehicle color. So then I have a method set vehicle attributes. All right. So my class is called auto. Is going to extend vehicle. Now look here. I have vehicle color. I also have vehicle color. Okay. I have all these right now. So what happened here right now? Which following statement is true? So the subclass is shadowing a superclass variable. Okay. So first learn that, then we'll see how does that work. Okay. So both of them have vehicle color. So we say the sub is shadowing the sub. Okay, then we are going to do this right now. To override a superclass method in a subclass, the subclass method must be the same name. You have the same method name and same parameter, so we override it. Next. Alright, so what happens if a subclass do to modify a private superclass variable? Alright, so the subclass must use the public methods of the superclass to update superclass private instant variable. Alright, so even when we have a vehicle color, your subclass need to modify it. It has to go to public method. Let's take a look here right now. So we have the code like this. Public deposit. I have a transaction count and deposit, and I do super dot deposit because my bank account superclass already have deposit. So which is this? The method is called a public method in superclass. Your method cannot call private. It's a super, then you can do that. Next one right here. We have the following code right here. So public void deposit. Alright. So which statement is true right here? And so this method will call itself. Let me double check. Public void deposit. All right, so deposit, it called itself deposit. All right, then let's do next one right here. Which reserved word must be used to call a method of superclass? All right, so super. Okay, then remember we do the super display. All right, what reserved word is used to deactivate polymorphism and invoke a method of superclass? All right, super. Because superclass you do like this way. Then which is the following statement about inheritance is true, and this one is true. If you define a method that did not exist in the superclass, the new method can be applied only to the subclass objects. Which of following statement about inheritance is not true? So most of these true, but let's take a look at not true here. Not true is instant field can be overwrite. Okay, no. And that's coming right here. We have another one is a class vehicle. So you have public method is set vehicle class, and you have auto extend vehicle. They have exactly the same method, set vehicle class, but the super has a double, and the sub has integer. Sub has integer. So which one? So for this one, we want to which one is the following is correct. Okay, so this one is the auto override the set vehicle class. Okay, so the reason is here the auto is going to override, you're going to take the integer now. Next, if a subclass contains a method with the same name as the method is superclass but with different parameter type, and so the subclass was set to we already know that overload. Okay, was overload the method. Okay, overload. All right, so next consider here auto extend vehicle. Okay, and auto super number of these. So this is your constructor. So what does this code do? So it evokes the constructor of vehicle class from within the constructor of the auto class. Which is following is true regarding subclass, and if a subclass does not call the superclass constructor, it must have a constructor without parameter. So the dual use of the super keyword and to the dual use of what keyword? This. So the super and this are sort of the same meaning. You use super, okay? Which one following is true regarding a subclass? A subclass object may be converted to a superclass object. We saw that example already. Consider next, if an object instance of an auto, if like that, so I may make this auto cast to auto. All right, so let me say the the code safely convert an object of type auto or a subclass of auto to an object of type auto. And the reason say safely, because you saw this somewhere, here, an object instance of, so you safely convert. The test whether an object belongs to a particular type, you use instance of. So this is check, because we have so many class you created. You need to make sure this class it belong to what superclass. Then you do instance of to check. Alright, consider we have following code here: object, bank account, BA, saving accounts, SA, string, STR. Alright, so which is not legal here? Alright, so STR, and remember STR is string, and SA is a saving, so they really not legal. Okay, and let's go next one right here. I have a rectangle R. Okay, so x, y, and width and height. I have a string r dots to string. So here r dots to string. All right. So if if my S is a rectangle, I'm going to write it right now. So what will be right down here? Okay. So the correct answer, the code will compile but will not do anything, because here S is not a rectangle. S is string. S is a string. So it won't write anything, but it will not give you the syntax error. That's why we say safely. So you either write it. Now remember, if you do here r dot to string, you don't have these. And you will write down that XY position. Okay, let's come right here. An object reference can be converted to type object without without a cast. Next one, I have the vehicle, a vehicle equal new auto. All right, so this is a super class. Let's go to the subclass right now. So a vehicle, and move forward 200. If the auto class inherit from vehicle class, and both class have implement move forward, which statement is true? The move forward method of the auto will be executed, because right now both have moved forward, but this vehicle, a vehicle, is new auto, so we'll do the auto one. Consider the following code here: vehicle, a vehicle is new auto, and move forward, assuming auto inherit vehicle, and both have moved forward. The process for determining which class move forward and to execute, this is called inheritance hierarchy. We still have another one here, vehicle AV new auto. So move forward, assuming auto inherit vehicle, both class implement move forward, and move forward is defined by the actual object type. So the actual object type is new auto. So which one of following is true about regarding inheritance? A superclass can force a programmer to overwrite a method in any subclass. So super actually has more power. Which of following statement about superclass is true? A subclass method may be used in a superclass when there's no good default method for the superclass and will suit a subclass needs. If a class has a abstract method, we didn't teach that yet, abstract method, okay? It will be like interface. If a class has abstract method, which following is must true, right? So you can construct an object from this class, okay? Has an abstract class, all right? Which is, let me double check. Which is not true. Actually, you cannot. So you cannot. Abstract is interface. You cannot. All right. So remember that. Just you cannot create anything. Object right there. Next, a class from which you cannot create an object is called an abstract class. A class that cannot be instantiated is called abstract class. A class that can be instantiated is sometimes called a concrete class. There are a lot of terms, you just need to know them, but we didn't practice that many. A class inherits an abstract method, but does not override it, must declare an abstract class. We'll do that for next chapter more, okay? Which of the following statement about abstract is not true? So not true is you can declare a class abstract only when you contain all abstract. No, that's not true. And let's continue, almost there, okay? So which of following statement about abstract class is not true? And that will be a class cannot be declared abstract if it has no abstract method. Okay, so that's not true. Which of the following statement about abstract class and interface is not true? And we say both abstract class and interface can have instant variable. Both of them cannot. The final reserved word in class definition ensure that subclass cannot create from this class. The final reserved word in a method definition ensures the subclass cannot override this method. A class whose object cannot be modified by any of class method is said to be immutable. Alright, so I know there's a lot of concept, we didn't even go over a lot of them, so I